Banks are blocking clients from buying gold and silver today globally. We're going to be highlighting all the reasons as to why the bull case for silver and gold, but more so silver, continues to expand and grow as we're seeing geopolitical tensions rise. Trade deals are starting to fall apart with the United States and the EU and many other countries. And so fiat currency is at very high risk, but I think precious metals like silver have a very strong bull case. So let's go ahead and dive in. But if you're new around here, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm to get this video out to more people, and also consider subscribing to the channel. Silver today sits right around $91 per ounce. So we're looking good. We have retraced a little bit over the last few days from a top of $94 during open global trading hours. But let's go ahead and talk about what's happening today. First and foremost, global risks and geopolitical tensions are rising. The World Economic Forum put out this statement talking about the estimation of likely impact severity of the following risks over the next 2 to 10 years. We're only going to focus on short-term, 2 years. Risk categories could be anywhere from environmental all the way to technological. Check this out though. The number one is geoeconomic confrontation, and that we're seeing literally transpire today. So the ways that we can see all of these things happening from a geoeconomic confrontation issue is what's happening with the EU and the United States. Because of the fight for Greenland, we're seeing the United States basically now saying they're going to increase tariffs on the European Union as a whole of 10% up to 25% by summer. And the EU decided to suspend trade deals with the US following President Trump's tariff threats, per Bloomberg. Well, after that, France's president, Macron, calls the EU to activate its most potent trade weapon against the US after President Trump's tariffs threat over Greenland. Macron is now calling for the use of the EU's anti-corrosion instrument. If used against the US, it would restrict the United States' access to the EU market completely, blocking the US banks and European procurement and targeting US tech giants. This trade weapon has never been used before. So going back to the risk, number one, short term is already here. Misinformation and disinformation, as well as societal polarization, are the second and third. And again, this will continue to build as why the bull case for precious metals is going up, because this puts fiat currency especially at very high risk. So Douglas McGregor took it over to Twitter last night, by the way. No community notes. The Bank of England has told to prepare for the market crash if the United States announces alien life. Talk about things that are coming out of left field. Helen McCaw, who served as the senior analyst into financial security at the UK central bank, sounded the alarm. She has now written to Andrew Bailey, the bank's governor, urging him to organize contingencies for the possibility that the White House may confirm we are not alone in the universe. What in the world is going on? Things are coming in, and 2026 is unfolding to unprecedented levels, and it's only been 18 days since the new year has started. But again, guys, we're seeing these things transpire. Extreme weather events, we'll leave all these things aside, but just these three: societal polarization, misinformation and disinformation with the AI tech that's happening right now, and deepfakes, as well as geoeconomic confrontations that are happening. We're seeing the rise of all of this. Earlier today, Taylor Kenny from Twitter, almost 1 million people have viewed. She works for a precious metals company. She said banks are blocking the exits into gold and silver on the 16th of January. And she says here, to be clear, this is not all banks, but this has happened with multiple clients from multiple banks on the 16th of January. They are not allowing people to exit their fiat positions that are kept in these banks into gold and silver. Now, I'm not telling anybody to go out there and sell their entire fiat positions, because we need to pay bills, we need sustainability. But having a hedge against the collapse of the financial system with all the different things, Bank of England sounding the alarm, geopolitical tensions rising in the Middle East and in the EU with the United States, Ukraine, Russia, Iran, you name it. It's literally right now peak in terms of world pain. Also, I know you guys are paying attention. But if you see over at the United States Mint, the American Eagle, the 1 ounce silver is at $173. It was just $90 last week. It's doubled up since, and we're seeing them even stopping the ability for people to purchase certain silver products via US Mint. So again, guys, right now we are literally living in unprecedented times, and things are starting to shock the system. So Robert Kiyosaki also has been a very strong believer and proponent of silver, gold, and other commodities, as well as even cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and others. And he predicts $107 silver on Monday as market faces sudden supply shock. Of course, we know Monday is actually Martin Luther King Day, so the market won't open here in the US. But again, with commodities and precious metals, the markets always do remain open and people can buy and sell. Silver markets face potential shock as Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki predicts a rapid surge toward $107, no all-time high, arguing that tightening physical supply and industrial demand leaves prices dangerously misaligned. And I would agree with this, but he took it over to Twitter, predicting that silver will see a significant price jump this Monday, January 19th, which would be tomorrow. The famous author attributed expected move to tightening supply, rising industrial demands, which he views as structural deficit, rather than a temporary market fluctuation. And guys, I didn't even mention supply shock, and I didn't even mention industrial demands, because you got to remember, more than even gold right now, silver is utilized in a lot of industrial processes, especially in the chip world. If you're talking about the AI evolution, data centers, different mechanisms, GPUs, CPUs, a lot of different things utilize silver as a metalloid or again as a precious metal, because its price compared to gold is a lot more affordable, but it has a lot of the attributes that we look for in gold. So Kiyosaki said Tesla cannot get silver. This Monday, silver will gap from $91 or actually $90 to $107. Yay. The acclamated author specifically linked alleged procurement difficulties at Tesla to broader pressure across the global manufacturing supply chain. While Tesla has not issued an official statement confirming a silver shortage, Kiyosaki's comments reflected growing industry concern over the metal's essential role in electric vehicles, solar panels, and advanced electronics. So again, I only gave you guys the computer side of things, but this also burns into EVs, which are now one of the hottest things that are being manufactured in the US and even China and Japan as well, but also solar panels as we're switching to alternative energy and advanced electronics, like I mentioned before. While the post generated strong engagement, market analysts noted that 175 target for Monday remains highly speculative. Well, of course it is. But again, my big thing and what we're seeing right now is if you go to the US Mint, look at the pricing of the single silver ounce coins, the American Eagles, or even the US Marine Corp 1 ounce silver metals, absolutely parabolic price action coming across for all of them. So what to do today? You have multiple choices. You have the decision to make for yourself. But I think the most imperative thing is to get yourself educated and learn, how do I have the ability to access physical gold, physical silver, storage, where to buy, where to sell when the time comes, where to just basically accumulate. Because I don't think it's a bad idea to have yourself a stockpile just in case things go haywire in the financial system. Because now in today's video by itself, I came to you at so many different angles, but make sure you double down and pay attention to what's happening from a geopolitical risk perspective. And again, this too will fly by at some point. It could be a tough 6 months to a year, could be 2 years, but at some point we will see a top for precious metals. We will see a retracement, hopefully a small correction. And remember, always buying a dip is better than buying a rip. That's something that I talk about time and time again. When people panic, we pounce. When people are pouncing and getting very greedy, that's when we're kind of fearful, kind of panicking and looking to hopefully offload our position. So right now, again, people are starting to panic buy, but we're not seeing blow off tops yet. As if we look at the 1 year chart, or even 5 year chart of silver, we're seeing parabolic run since basically the end of 2025 onwards. But I don't think the rally is done yet because there's too many reasons to be bullish for the short-term and long-term future. I appreciate your support as always, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Comment down below and let me know, what do you do? Do you buy silver stock? Do you keep stockpiles of physical silver, stacking your own? Let me know down in the description below, or excuse me, in the comment section. And until next time, as always, everybody, keep investing. Peace.